That could be good. Yeah.
The whole compilation. I
All
wonder if
right.
I have a crash
It's on
compilation
there.
on YouTube. Cool. Um, I don't think it's on YouTube.
What's
I
up,
think it's only on
Jared?
Instagram. Yeah, I'm good at crashing. I'm good at it.
No, I don't have very many. I think
I
somebody
gotta.
said, "Oh, what's up?"
I know. I said I probably have like it's probably most of what I post on Instagram.
There's crashes.
Yeah, they always do well.
Yeah. What's up, Lucas?
Lucas, Jared.
Messiah, you broke your back, dude. That's crazy. When did that happen? Just recently? Anyway, I'm gonna eat my Popeyes.
Dude, so tomorrow,
Hmm.
well, actually, technically, California time, probably tonight at like midnight or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
is Crankworks Innsbruck slopestyle,
Oh,
the first
nice.
first Crankworks event. Dude,
Hmm.
everyone's been posting practice clips. Those guys are so gnarly now. Like the things that they're doing are just so unnecessary. Like
Did you did you ever ride in Crankworks?
no, no.
No.
I want to ride some speed and style in Crankworks because that looks really fun. I got the
Yeah.
opportunity to do it at Crankworks Rotorua, but I crashed like a day before and pulled out of the event.
Uh,
I didn't go there to ride that event. I got in like 2 days before because someone pulled out.
right.
Like I had no plans of riding it at all, and then Mark had a spot, and he was like, "I don't even have that bike," so he just told the lady to give the spot to me. And then I got in there and rode it, and it was
You disappeared.
but no, dude, like they replaced the cannon log with like a
Uh-huh.
dirt step.
Oh, what's up, guys? Nick is gone, and now it's just me. I imagine Nick will be back in a minute. But anyway, Sean, what's up, Sean? How you doing? Oh God, what was that?
That
Oh,
was
what's up,
weird.
Nick? I know
It just,
you were really lagging and like you kind of disappeared. I couldn't hear you for a while, and then you were just gone, and I was like, well, R.I.P.
yeah, you
You're at
were
Josh's?
you were lagging too. Yeah, and he has really good internet, but it's also very very windy out right now. It's like super dust storm and everything. So
Hmm.
if you hear the wind, I apologize. It's like super windy out here. Um, it
I
was
think
like
they can only
so
hear
nice
me chewing.
yesterday. Yeah,
They can only hear me
it.
chewing.
Yeah, it was super nice yesterday. Like when we drove up here, it was super super nice, and it's just brutal today. Like 35-mile-an-hour winds. Like I can't even see the mountains right now, and I'm 100 yards away from them. There's that much dust.
Damn.
Like I'm just sitting looking out the window, and like there should be mountains right there, but there's not.
Hmm.
But dude, Josh got a new Razor, spent like 50 grand on it. Dude, he took me on a ride for on that thing yesterday. That thing is crazy, dude. It's like a trophy truck. It,
$50,000 razor.
dude, it's got 28 inches of suspension front and back, and the suspension is like electronic, so it stiffens up when you like go around corners and stuff. Or
When you
like
need
it's
it
so
to.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, we're going like over 70 miles an hour down this like stretch of like you know dirt road, but like not like a road trail. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, I see this big old dip, and I'm like, oh no! I grab onto the bar, and we just like the dip wasn't even there. The thing had to have been 4 feet deep. Like just went straight over, just hovered. I was like, what is? I just clapping. I was like, this is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he let me drive it, but I had to keep it under like 30, which is fine because
Was that his
that thing's
rule?
no. He was like, just feel it out. He was like, just he's like the tires are a lot wider than you think. He's like, you got to get used to your spatial awareness, and he's like, you'll spin, so don't let it spin. That's how you tip us. And so then I was just a little fissy.
Yeah, I would be. My friend got like this was a while ago. He got an M3, this kid I used to ride with in El Paso a lot. and he's all hyped on his, his BMW M3. He's all, yeah, it's fast. Like, you want to drive it? I'm all, okay. And I don't know, he had like more confidence in me than he should have. I didn't crash it, but he's like, yeah, just you use the paddle shifters to shift. I'm like, whatever. And he's all, so anyway, we floor it. Like, he's like, go fast. So I floor it leaving the skate park. And I thought it was an automatic. I didn't think about the paddle shifters. So it's just sitting there, bah, 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 just like smacking the red line. He's all, you got to shift. I'm like, oh. So anyway,
Yeah, blow it up.
don't trust me with your
Oh,
toys.
that's funny. Dude, on the drive that I go from Lancaster to Woodward,
Uh-huh.
someone like 2 nights ago on that road, there's like a fatal car accident. They were going like 200 miles per hour in a Porsche GT and crashed. And every comment on the Facebook post, because there's like a scanner page, every comment is like that couldn't be true. How does a car go 200 miles an hour when the speedometer only goes to 120? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure when you buy a $160,000 sports car,
Yeah, you could
you
probably get
expect
it
that
up
thing
there.
to go 200. The Porsches have their speedometers go to like 220. So,
Damn.
like, if I were to buy a $160,000 car, it better go 200. I don't have any
Yeah,
desire to go 200, but it better, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, it better go that fast.
that's terrible logic, because my Honda Accord, the speedometer goes up to like 160. I know damn well it's never gonna hit 160.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They're
it's
like,
like
yeah, it only
saying,
goes to
oh, whatever
100.
speedometer.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's car speedometers only go to 120. Maybe the ones you drove,
Yeah.
like, the heck? Like, or they were like, that car wouldn't even be recognizable. Like, it wasn't. They're like, it would be in 1,000 pieces if you actually crashed at 200. And it's like, there's like 100 ways to crash a car, right? Like,
Yeah. I
people
bet the
just, their logic was just so dumb. It's like, dude, it's a Porsche. He probably skidded for a while. He probably didn't actually hit something at 200. Like,
California logic. The people were
yeah,
probably unrecognizable. That's crazy to think about. God. I mean, that'd just be so fast. Like, next thing you know, you're
yeah, 200. That's that's fast. Like, I couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine. Street bikes will do 200. I
yeah.
guarantee you, most people that drive on LA freeways have been passed. Like, if you drive on the 5 freeway past like midnight, you'll get passed by dudes on street bikes going 200 at least. Because I'll drive like 85 miles an hour on the freeway at night, when there's not a
Yeah.
lot of traffic, and they'll pass you like you're standing still. And they're just gone, and you're like, dude, where did you come from? Like,
They're all watch
it's
for bikers, and
scary.
you're like, bro, I can't see you.
No, dude, when they're going that fast, and even when it's like normal, like traffic conditions, everyone's going like 60. There's a lot of traffic. They'll still weave through traffic at 85, 90
Mhm.
miles an hour. And like, dude, if you check your rearview mirror, they won't be there. By the time you click your blinker and look again, they're
Yeah.
right there and passing you. Like, they come out of nowhere, and it's like, it's scary. Like, every time one passes me, I'm like, well, I'm glad I wasn't getting over right there because I did not see you.
For real.
Like, like,
Some
and I would
sometimes
feel
I've had the
so
crazy
bad.
urge. Oh, sometimes I have the crazy urge. Like, if I see someone on a bike just being absolutely reckless, gonna pass me on the right or something, or even the left, I'll just act like wait. I haven't actually done this, to clarify, but I've had the thought, how crazy would it be if I just put on my blinker and pretend like I'm about to get over, and they're driving like a jackass? Like, whose fault is it really if they're driving like a jackass and you don't see them, and you cut over, you get out of the lane like you're supposed to, and
Yeah.
just give them a little scare, but I don't know. I feel like they'd swerve or something and then crash, and then I'd feel bad. And I don't know.
Like, for me, it's like, you know, with the exception of people who drive for a living, like semi truck drivers, I've probably driven a lot more than most people.
Yeah.
You know, I drive a
Mhm.
lot, and I've driven in like all the states, and like, people are not smart when they drive. Like,
No.
dude, like, I'll be driving, the speed limit, which in a lot of places is 75,
Hmm.
and I'll be driving, passing a semi, and then a car will be coming like 90 miles an hour on me while I'm passing the semi, flash the brights, And I'm like, what do you think I'm gonna do right now?
Yeah.
Like, I can't just speed up to 90. I'm in a 9,000 pound van. It doesn't work like that. And so I'll get to where I know I'm clear the semi, go to turn on my blinker, start to get over, and the person behind
And
me
they'll go.
swerves in, and then I'm like, dude, why are you stupid? Like, don't be stupid, man. Like,
I was coming back from Arizona and I go like 80, 81, 82, just a few miles an hour over. And there's a semi in the passing lane just chilling there. So I pass him on the right, right? No bad feelings. I just, if you want to sit there, go crazy. I'm just going to pass you. So I pass him and then I'm going and then he starts flashing his brights at me. And I'm like, oh, well, my headlight's out. So he's probably letting me know that my headlight's out. And so then like I go and I let him pass me and then I turn my brights on or off to show that my headlight's out. And he didn't like that. So then he just started cutting in front of me and like brake checking me. It was by a semi. It was the scariest thing ever because like we're going 80 and the next thing I know we're going 40 and his tires are skidding and I was like, I'm gonna get beat up tonight. And anyway, I called the cops for the first time in my life. And then he left. He took an exit and pieced out. But man, that was spooky.
no, that kind of stuff's sketchy, dude. Like, I don't ever want to push some driver over the edge, but like, I, especially being in the van, like, I'm never really in a rush when I'm getting anywhere. Like, I can't go that fast.
Yeah.
So I don't need to weave through traffic. I don't need to pass people. What I don't like passing semis on the right. Like, if a semi truck is in the left lane,
Uh-huh.
I don't like passing semis on the right because
Because
I always
they
feel like they're coming
get over
over.
on you. Mm.
Yeah, I always feel like it. And then, like, in California, semis pretty much have to stay in the right lane,
Yeah. Right.
And when there's like when the freeway is about to split, it's driving tip. If there's a semi in the third lane from the right, that means that's about to be the new right lane when the freeways
Mm.
split. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. So that's always a good indicator that the freeways are about to split,
Uh-huh.
is that a semi is right there. But in other states, semis can drive wherever they want.
Yeah.
So we'll be on like a 3-lane road in Virginia, and you got a semi on your left and on your right, and you're like driving in between, and you're like,
You have
this
to go
feels
between them. You're
very,
all.
like, this feels very uncomfortable, and they're doing this, like,
Yeah.
they're like, ooh, like, it's
It's super
so
windy.
terrible. Yeah. But no, what was I gonna say? Something about driving that motorcycle just threw me off. Rob, I don't know. Wasn't that important? Oh well.
Bobby, what's up, Bobby? Bobby's in here. David's in
Hey,
here.
Bobby.
We got all kinds of people. JMB wants tips for fakies. What do you think the most common issue is with a fakie?
I would say, hold on, sorry, the razor is going. Um,
Huh? No, I'm just
for
kidding.
me,
I can hear
I
you.
think the most common issue is pedaling backwards too fast.
Hmm.
Like,
Like
obviously, if you
not
have a free
pacing it right.
coaster, yeah, if you have a free coaster, that doesn't apply. But when you pedal backwards too fast, you're like losing all of your balance. Keeping the motherfuckers, dude. Like, um, they know I'm in here right by the window. They can see me. They got a little motorcycle, an ATC, and the Razor lighting it up in the driveway.
just making all the noise they can with that
Yeah.
thing.
But yeah, so the when you pedal backwards and you let the gearing like pedal you backwards,
Yeah.
it's like helping you stay more stable. And like, you kind of got to think, like, when you're that way, every time you're keeping pressure, you're like kind of side to side balancing, and you're almost giving yourself something to stand on because that wheel is like pulling you back. And
Uh-huh.
then on a free coaster, it's just, you just got to get in a good body position, have your butt kind of over the back wheel, and have all your limbs bent. And I would say, even when you're pedaling backwards, that's another big problem, is you want to be, back and have all of your limbs bent, and don't be too far over the bars. Otherwise, your bars turn too fast and you got too much leverage up there.
Yeah.
And keep your arms locked out.
I've got when I was on a cassette, my fakies were terrible. Terrible. Like I try and go in a straight line and I go whoo, 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 like a snake, man, and it was awful. And maybe that was my problem. Maybe I was pedaling backwards too fast, and it was throwing my balance off. So like if I pedal too far back, and that shifts my weight left, and then I shift it right, and that's causing me to do that. On the Revolution, it's been really nice because I just sit back and kind of look behind me and steer. But it's harder. I don't know. I feel like with a cassette you can have better timing because like you know about how far you roll back when
Mm.
you're with like one crank, you know about how far you are. And so like yesterday we were riding and I was just gonna half cab down like a three set, and on the coaster, I was kind of scared because I'm like, well, I think this is when I hop, but on a cassette, I know exactly how many cranks it takes to get to where I need to half cab. And that's a
Yeah.
weird difference that I didn't really think about. But long fakies are very hard for me on a cassette, probably because I pedal backwards too fast. It's a good point.
Well, and that's kind of the thing is, if you get in the habit of faking to your gearing,
Yeah.
then whether you're faking fast or slow, it's still the same amount of revolutions of the cranks to get the
Yeah.
same distance. So like, say I'm just like going up the box jump, doing a 180 and then half cabbing to the landing. I
Yeah.
land, full crank back, hop in. If I go twice as fast, it still land full crank back and hop in. It's still the same
Mm,
amount of cranks. Whereas a free coaster, the timing is actually different because you're not actually pedaling backwards.
yeah.
But basically, like you kind of figure out that if I full crank and then push down as pedal pressure, no matter
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
fast I go, it's still one crank and pedal pressure, and I'm into the landing.
Mm.
You know what I
See,
mean?
are
No
you
matter
talking about
what.
Woodward box jump?
Yeah.
I do two cranks back. And so that
I
right
mean,
there
I
proves. Oh, okay. I was gonna
I
say.
might do too. I don't actually know.
It's
I'm just
just an
telling you that it's
example.
the same. It's the
Right,
same
right.
every
Oh,
time.
I was gonna say
Um,
that would prove that I do it too fast if you do one crank and I do two.
it also has to do
Ah,
with gearing though.
yeah,
Guarantee you, my
true,
bike is
huh?
harder to pedal than yours. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
because I run 3213 or 3212, um,
Oh,
which if you converted that to um, BMX, that'd be like 28.8 or like 29.8 or
and
something,
what's the
or
how do you do the math on
29,
that?
29.9. Um,
You divide them, right? You know what I mean? Like how to do the math?
yeah. So well,
Is
but it
it
also my wheel size adjusts it too. Like if I had 28.9 on mine, it
yeah.
wouldn't be the same as 28.9 on a BMX bike because the wheel is bigger.
Fuck yeah, that's a good
You're getting
point.
more ground distance, so it's really not the same. That's why like 3213. If you ran 3213 on BMX bike, you'd be like this, like
Uh, Okay, who thinks Nick should switch back to BMX so our conversations are easier?
absolutely
What's
not.
up, Tyler? Tyler, Bobby, Jared. Oh my God, everyone's in here. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I think we'll yeah, I can see you in here, Bobby. I think I can see Tyler too. That's weird that last time you guys we couldn't see you, but
I'm
the
really
preacher
interested
came
in
over. Uh-huh.
Tyler's Facebook comment right now.
Yeah, are you reading it?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Also, Sean's topics for us to talk about are comment.
Yeah, dude, Sean's funny. We'll talk about tubalitos for Sean because that's a fun conversation with them.
Let's see. So posted this in the original post. Another topic: thoughts on brakeless riding and why many seem to feel more connected to the bike without brakes. Obviously, you want to be more attentive to what you're doing, but any other thoughts on it? I've also noticed the majority of the smoothest and stylish riders seem to be brakeless or at one time road brakeless. I don't know if it's a correlative or causative, but it seems to be true. This has been of interest to me recently as I myself am about to go brakeless. I was brakeless for about 2 weeks and did in fact feel more in control and felt progression was better. Um, so
Good. This is
my
good. This is a fun
this
one.
yeah, this is a fun one because everyone is going to have a different take on this. So first, I'm just going to say what I think uh, a benefit of riding brakeless is. So when you ride brakeless, you're forced to learn more control on the bike. you're forced to be more precise on your quarter airs, and you're forced to like actually use your body to really slow yourself down and depump in between like dirt jumps. Or if you're going at a quarter, you know, with brakes, it's really easy to be like, I'm going a little too fast and brake tap. But on when you're brakeless, you know, you can slow yourself down just as much by depumping through the quarter transition to minimize your height without actually having to hit your brakes. So it's like it becomes a different style of riding. And then when you're doing a lot of tricks, it forces you to be a lot more precise on the landing because you'll loop out. You know, obviously, like you don't have the brake to stop you from looping out. Same with manuals. You learn a different type of manual. A lot of mountain bikers manual by feathering the rear brake, like especially on downhill bikes and stuff. So it's a different level of, you know, connection to the bike for sure. But the thing is all the riders that you mentioned, you know, Kevin Peraza, Logan, okay, not all of them, but like Kevin, Logan, Dennis, all those dudes rode brakes before.
At one
Like,
point, yeah, I agree.
yeah, at one point, like Pat, everyone, they all rode brakes. They all had gyros. So everything they learned was, you know, with brakes. That's why you can see Dennis now put on a straight cable and do all the foo-foo-noos and stuff because, you know, Dennis had all of that control already. A lot of people, I feel like, go brakeless because they get tired of working on their brakes. I mean, you know,
It's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, your brake snap, like your brake cable snap, and you don't have a new one, so you spend the next week riding without brakes, and then you're like, well, nothing seems to be really different for me, so I may as well just keep them off. And a lot of people take off their brakes because they're like, maybe I'll bar spin better if I don't have brakes. Like, and I rode brakeless for a long time, and then I looped out a flip on like this spine thing and KO'd myself and never rode brakeless again.
Because if you had brakes, you could have pulled them and dropped the front end instead of looping out.
In theory.
Ideally, yeah.
In theory. But no, I think it's just like they people think it looks cleaner. They just like it. They like that, like it's kind of just one less thing to think about. You know, like you don't have to think about braking or doing this or that. It's just, you know, running it, like just using your body. And you know, you got to think when you're riding skate park, especially when you're at that level, you're not really slowing down for anything. Like if you're riding like a feast course, you want full speed the whole time. It's not like riding a slope style mountain bike course where some jumps you may be dragging brake from the lane to the next lip because you have a hill and all this stuff. Like brakeless just forces you to, like in the skate park scenario, it forces you to depump or pop more, or like pull back more. Like it just kind of just turns you into a better bike rider, but you don't have to take your brakes off to learn those skills.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I think
you can keep your brakes on for, you know, emergencies and still do it. I don't like riding brakeless because I pull my brake anytime my feet come off. That's why I don't ride brakeless. And because I ride slope style. But otherwise, it's like when I do tail whips and stuff, I catch my front foot so early on the pedal that I would do a half crank every time that I did a tail whip.
Yeah.
And it would
so
take me a lot to like
and keep it in place.
Yeah, or like 3 down lifts. My foot steps on and then I step over. I don't have like that double foot catch at the same time. And yeah, I would adapt, but it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, I think you always, for me, the only reason I took mine off, because I had brakes early on when I started, and what I would do, like I just remember specifically, it was 360 tire taps, which I kind of needed my brakes for. But before I would do any tricks, so I was just barely learning 180s, I was doing fakies, just barely learning those tricks. But I would roll and just pull my brake just because, like, it was like I would never have a reason to. I wasn't going too fast, but it was just like I think David said it here, is a mental sense of security. And so that's all it was for me, is like, oh, I'll just pull them, just like, you know, kind of brake check it. And I got mad at myself. I was like, why do I keep doing that? I don't need to do that. And so I just took them off so I couldn't. And like Nick's touched on, there's certain tricks that are very brakes help with, for sure. Like obviously Abubaka's Foo-Foo-Noos, like Bobby's saying, he's all about the Abubaka life and things like that. But yeah, when you Tyler, I guess to like get to my thoughts on your question, when you don't, the brakes are kind of like a crutch in a sense for certain things. And like Lucas said, half the time you don't need it at the skate park. And Nick said that too. I think you just kind of, you can control your speed just fine without it and have a more fluid connection to the bike by, like, I slide my tire out or depump or something like that instead of brakes, just because I used to put my shoe in and ruin shoes. But eventually you build that confidence on the bike. But I don't think the riders you're referring to have that kind of style necessarily because they're brakeless, because I think they, you know, like they all had brakes at one point, and so they have that style because they've been riding for a very, very long time and have that control with the bike, that them riding brakeless, it doesn't really affect them one way or another. I think that's more the thing, not necessarily that they took their brakes off and then developed this really fluid like style to the bike. I think they would have had that regardless. But you can get over the crutch and like having that reliability on your brakes by just taking them off, but you're going to wish you had them sometimes. I don't know, be careful. I crashed, I was riding downhill like on with my friends in Denver, and I don't have brakes, and I landed back heavy on a big landing. And if I had brakes, I could have pulled them and dropped my front end, but instead I had to run it out. And like I took 2 steps and just slid down, cut my whole arm, just got messed up. And I was like, I'm never doing that again without brakes. And I've never had brakes since then. I've never had brakes again. So I've never done it. Maybe one day I'll throw brakes on and do it. But um, yeah, I don't know. That's fun to think about. Why did you say why you want to take them off? What do you, yeah, let's see. You were brakeless for like 2 weeks and you felt more in control and felt progression was better. So you're going to go back to them for a little bit. Okay, cool. Go back to brakeless. Yeah, that's fun. Learn to pump. That's the biggest thing. I think everyone should take their chain off and ride around like
Oh
that
yeah.
for a few months. Just, get used to it. Start at the bottom of your park and don't pedal. Just pump your way up and be able to get out of the bowl. You'll learn a ton of skills chainless if you remember not to pedal.
Yeah, we'll do exercises at Woodward where we'll start on the waterfall. Like you can't
Uh-huh.
drop in from the quarter. That's cheating. Can't drop in from the quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
You start from the base of the waterfall, and you have to just stand on your bike, and then just like move your front wheel like this until you drop in. No half crank, nothing, and then pump in, up over the box jump backwards, air the quarter, and then jump the box jump. No pedals the whole way,
And see if you can
and
pump enough to
it's
get the
it's
speed.
difficult.
I
Like it's
bet.
difficult.
Yeah.
It's a big box jump, but like like I started doing that, and for like a solid week of sessions, I couldn't do it, and
Hmm.
we just started doing it like 6 months ago, and then I after like a week of doing it, I can do it almost every time, and it like brought me back to like new precision on that 9 foot quarter because now I can go slower into it, go just as high, but land way higher up and get more speed because I started building this habit of going full blast into the quarter, going like 10 feet out and then landing halfway
Yeah.
down. And I can go half as high and have the same amount of speed for the box jump because I'm
Carry
landing
through it and
smoother.
still. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah. Because the pump is better than everything. Like your pump is more efficient than a pedal. Your pump is more efficient than going higher. Like, especially when
Yeah.
you're talking about a 9 foot quarter that's super steep, you can get you can get a rocket boost out of that quarter. Like if you land really high on that quarter and give it a really solid pump, you'll feel like you could just loop it out at the bottom. Like you'll get such a G out.
Yeah.
That's how at the Taj, I'm editing all the Taj videos, and it just brought me back to thinking about that berm. The berm is like almost a 180 berm, and you pump it so hard to get over the road. Sometimes in the beginning we would get stuck in our pump. Like the G would be so hard that you would get stuck in the pump and like you couldn't
Yeah, you're
compress
held
out.
into it.
Yeah, you couldn't compress out of it because it was like being on like a gravitron. Like you literally come
Mm,
in and it's almost 9 feet tall, the berm, and you're just full horizontal like a wall ride going as fast as
that's
your bike will
crazy.
go around the corner.
I was just thinking when you said it like that, the pumping thing, back to the brakes or no brakes, like I almost want to say it's like a sustainability thing. So you think about a rider, like I was imagining somebody say cranking at that 9 foot, right? They're cranking, they're cranking, they're cranking, they're cranking, and then they mash their brakes last second because they're not comfortable with that speed. So then they air it and land, and then they're cranking, they're cranking, they're cranking, and then they mash their brakes again before the box jump because they're not comfortable with the speed. And so like you're going all gas, all brake. Like you're working way harder than you need to. Like if without the brakes, if you just pump and crank subtly to a speed you're comfortable with, air, like you're not going pedal to the metal brakes, pedal to the metal brakes. And I think that's what a lot of new riders end up doing with brakes until you figure out how to like stay sustained. Like when you're riding, when you've achieved a certain level, I think of bike control, you're able to maintain your speed, whether it's by pumping, depumping, or whatever it is. You're not constantly pedaling, you're not constantly braking, you're just maintaining it, the speed you need to flow around and do the thing. And I think that's ultimately why like Kevin's, Dennis's, their riding looks so good, is because it's really smooth and it's subtle. It's not so jerky, I guess. There's a better word
It's
for it, but it's not so.
I would call it dynamic. Like they're always moving on the bike.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
moving, whether they're pumping, depumping, they're always doing something, and it's very fluid. It's constantly moving. It's not
Mhm.
like,
Fluid. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very fluid.
Oh,
It's
good
like
word.
just constantly moving, and I think that's where a lot of that style comes from. Is the body's just constantly moving. It's not just stuck. And like Logan Martin has one of the strongest pumps that you could possibly have. If you actually go to a feast course and you see how fast he's going on that course and how
Big.
little
Everything's
he's
huge, right?
yeah, and how little he's pedaling compared to a lot of people, and then also his ability to do those like 360 alley oop transfers, like those are not small transfers.
Yeah.
And like you ever seen him post a video in his backyard? He'll come off that resi, do a full bunny hop, land, really hard pump, 2 hard cranks, and then he's going like 15 feet out of that 10-foot quarter, like
Yeah.
just blasting it. But you can see that it's from the second he hops in, he's getting he's probably getting more speed out of that hop in and that initial pump at the bottom of the quarter he's dropping into than most people are going to get cranking at that quarter. He hasn't even
Yeah.
started pedaling yet.
Well,
Like,
you're right, because just the amount of height he gets on things is pure like testament to his pump and that power he has coming off of transitions and things like that, and the speed he's able to generate going into
yeah,
it. I've never even seen a feast course, but I know like you look at it and how long it takes for them to go from obstacle to obstacle. Like those are pretty big distances in between. It's not
there's
like
a lot of
uh,
flat bottom.
yeah, it's not like box jump 6 feet over the quarter. It's like big gap. And so one, they've got to maintain the speed through that, like in between the two, and generate it. Doesn't look as good when they're pedaling around the whole course. Like that's probably a deduction. I don't know. It should be. But
Absolutely.
but they're so massive, and I don't think video does it justice. The fact that they're able to get that kind of air and maintain that kind of speed on it's just bonkers.
Yeah. Well, and
Sean left. Bye, Sean. Have fun. Ride hard.
um, Logan's Logan's precision, like I said, he hops in and he's landing right at the top. Like Logan's precision also adds to his ability to keep up that kind of speed because every trick that he does, he lands right at the top of the ramp
Yep.
and can get the full pump as if he just did a straight jump. He can get the full pump going into the next thing where, you know, that's kind of, you'll see it a lot in like in dirt jump contests. You'll see somebody do a banger trick and land it, but they don't land high enough up to really get the most out of the pump. And then the next jump, they don't have quite enough speed. And, it applies on the skate park. If you were to do, a trick on the spine and you land low, you have no pump coming out of that spine. And
Right.
so then you're trying to make it up by pedaling. Whereas Logan lands really high, gets a solid pump. He's already going faster than you. And then he takes 2 pedals and he's going twice as fast as you. And then, so it's like, he's got this precision that is just unbelievable to watch. Like when I watch Logan ride, I'm not even really looking at the tricks he's doing. Like I'm like, that's cool, you know. It's
Mhm.
cool. He does a lot of tricks. I'm more just the fact that it doesn't matter what trick he's doing, he lands perfect.
Yeah.
Like when he does flare down whip on the quarter, he lands at the very top. When he does double down whip, he lands perfectly at the top. When he does triple whip airs, when he does anything, he lands 720 bar on a spine. He lands perfectly at the top. Like
Yeah.
he's got that pop figured out. And it's not just at his home park that he lands like that. Everywhere he goes, ride for an hour, he's on point. Like
If
he's
you
just on point.
like it, say there's that contest that Red Bull did with Sebastian Keep, where it was like it was essentially a timed best trick contest. So they had a huge quarter to like extension, and then a huge box jump, and
It's the one they just did.
a little bit ago, yeah, a few weeks
Yeah.
ago or something. But so like that kind of riding is one thing because you can pull those tricks, you can land sketchy, and you don't have to worry about the rest of your run. But like where Logan's pulling those kind of tricks in a contest format where it really matters how you land and how you carry out your speed, that's what's, yeah, like you said, so impressive. I remember he was at camp in 19 or whatever, but him and Jay Tui just like hitting the lav line. The tricks look so casual, but they're landing into those landings like off of a flip whip, just perfect, so they can get every bit of the transition. Did you want to Logan has this video, it's my 10 biggest tricks. Do you want to watch it on here?
Sure.
Okay. You guys want to watch Logan Martin or no? Too bad you're watching Logan Martin.
I was gonna say, well,
Um
they're gonna.
yeah, they're gonna. I just looked at I put a poll on the chat. Did you see that? I was asking if they ride brakeless or brakes, and 75% of you guys ride brakes, 25% ride brakeless. I would have voted brakeless if I could, but
Chief says, "Good day, boys. How's your injury going, Nick?"
what's up, Chief?
I go through days like yesterday. I was playing some darts, and I got really excited because I got a hat trick, which is 3 bullseyes, and I like did a little hop, skip, and a jump, and I was like stepped on it funny, and so it feels a little sore today. So it's definitely like I don't know. Some days I'm like, oh, maybe I should have gone and got it checked on again. But like, there's never been any point that I could like push on it and actually get any pain. It's just certain movement. It just feels tight. So I think it was just a really bad sprain, and I can walk totally fine. But if I step funny, but it's weird. Like, cause if I step funny, I'll get like a weird tension on the top of my foot, on the outside of the ankle. Like it's kind of all over because I think I, probably wrenched a couple things in there pretty good, but we're just taking it easy. I'll ride the beginning of July at Woodward Park City, but for right now, we're just keeping it mellow.
Hey, real quick before we go to the Logan video, says he's doing it because of the experience he mentioned already, and he found himself doing the random pull. So that's what I was talking about, where I'd pull the brakes before I'd actually do a trick. And let's see, pull back on him later. Okay, no brakes, first time brakeless. Hey, let us know, Tyler, when you go, how the new DACC is, because they updated it, right? Or are they working on it? I feel like they changed a few things. Anyway, have fun, dude. That's dope. And then Taco Slurpee is asking, I think, about shoes. And I just want to show up because I'm sad. I got my new KP Vans and nobody compliments them. So I'm going to show them to you guys. Look at them. These are the best
Yo,
shoes for BMX. We got this pad here for whips, and they're real dirty. Honestly, they're good. They're not anything crazy. Like, I mean, they're comfortable. They're good, but so are most other Vans. So I don't have any crazy stories about them.
I don't ride in vans.
Oh, okay.
No,
Logan's
I
Logan's on screen. Oh, what's up?
I said I don't ride in vans. I used to. I used to wear the half cabs, but my
Uh-huh.
pedals are so gnarly that vans are just a little too grippy for me. Um, so another good shoe. I like the Nike Shane O'Neills. They're skate shoes,
Hmm.
but like they're super flexy, and then also the slides. Great BMX shoe.
Oh, the slides. Yes,
These are
the
Vans,
best.
but these are
Dude,
great.
I see people riding in slip-ons, and I'm like, go do something else. Like, get out of here. Slip-ons, you can't. I mean, you can, and people do it, but it bothers me. It hurts my ankles just thinking about it. Like, man, you catch a whip and your crank just smacks your foot. That's no fun. Okay, so this is Logan. You guys, if when I play it, make sure you can hear it because I won't be able to hear it. But I think Nick, you know how I always had problems trying to play audio through there? This new thing automatically puts audio through there. Can you hear it? So this is Logan Martin.
It's a lot of.
Sort of in no particular order. Maybe the last three I'll keep.
Okay, we don't want to hear him talk. Oh, 1080. Okay. Look at that height. That's insane. Look at the head.
I know. Then look at the precision on the landing.
That's a 10.
Like, look at that.
Perfect.
Couldn't be any better.
But it doesn't count.
That's a 1080.
Resi.
I do them pretty much every day. All of these tricks are going to be pretty much tricks that I do every day that I just find fun.
My 10 biggest tricks. They're just
I've only been doing this for maybe about 6 months, but they just feel super cool traveling backwards and spinning that much.
Go Kim. Go Kim.
Go. Congratulations.
So is that different than a flip whip? I feel like that's a flip whip.
Sometimes he does them more barrel roll.
Bit.
Yeah. It's like under flip whip. Wouldn't call it a barrel roll whip. Call it like an under flip whip.
All right, that one is a barrel roll tail whip. That's a barrel roll whip.
Yes.
Let's do a 720 bar. I do this one quite often. I do this one in a lot of contests that I ride.
I do this in my sleep.
So I'll do a 7 bar on the box.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Because you're coming out of your spin on this second one. Like, he tucks up, but then he's like, oh, whoops. And then yanks it around to finish it. That's insane.
So when I've done 720 bar in the bag, I do it on that second spin, the bar spin, just like his second bar.
So you throw the first coming off, you tuck up, and then on the second one, you snap it again?
I don't do bar, just one bar.
Single.
I snap, okay. Yeah, I snap the 7, and then right when I hit 360, I push it out, bar spin, and then come back in.
Man, okay, wait, I gotta put it back on the screen. I can't even 540 right now. I'm washed up.
All right, so we may as well stay in the box jump. Stick with the 720s.
Hey, he's got a Whoop and he's got an Apple Watch.
Whoop.
God, he's going.
I haven't done this trick too much, but I've been doing it recently again. 720 bar to no hander. Shane actually called it out for me originally. Ended up learning it. Stopped doing it for a bit. Then he called it out a few weeks ago, so I started doing it again. So I'm gonna do a 7 bar no hander.
Oh my Lanta. The height on that is insane.
He's really like corked out on him too. Why do you cork out on a 7?
Because it's easier.
It is.
Yeah. The ramp kind of just puts you there. Like,
instead of staying
easier
like
than
this.
spinning. Yeah, because doing it the other way, the way I do it, because I can do both cork 7 and like regular 7. Nowadays I mostly do flat 7s, but you have to like work against the ramp, to get yourself straight up and down instead of just letting the ramp carry you. But cork 7s on like bigger jumps, it's also every jump, like doing cork sevens on a BMX bike on spines and box jumps is very similar every time you do it. On mountain bike, every new lip, if it's more mellow, the gap is bigger, you're going faster. It feels like a different trick every time, which is why a lot of people do cork sevens and they eventually stop doing them because shit gets weird. Like,
yeah, what you learn it on is not always going to be the same as what you like end up trying it on contest or something.
Cork sevens on a lot of different jumps. I've been doing them since 2014, and sometimes they happen first go on a jump, and sometimes it takes me like 2 or 3 goes to like adapt to that jump, because it's not like a flip or a spin. You're doing a flip and a spin, so you're like adjusting the timing of the snap, how far you're pulling back before you initiate spinning. Like there's kind of a lot that goes into it on different jumps. And like on a couple different jumps, you know, you may feel like you're doing the exact same thing, and yet the trick looks entirely different. Like your axis is totally different, because if it's a more mellow lip and you do the same thing you did on a steeper lip, your bike's not going to get as steep.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, when you think about like a 3 over a box jump, it's easy to just kind of come off and stay like this and spin the rotation. But the 7, if you're going off a steeper lip, you're fighting against it to spin after you pop off, right?
Yeah, so when you spin on spine or a box jump, if you spin flat, your back wheel has to come off before the lip. Like you start the spin and your back wheel will leave early. Now on like a mellow big mountain bike lip, that's why you see a lot of mountain bike guys do like really floaty spins, is because on those kind of jumps, our back wheel has to stay on the whole way. You have to let that back wheel go off, so you're always going to be spinning more like dipped out a little bit, but it won't always look dipped out, because if it's a mellow jump, it's not going to dip you. But if you were to spin regular on a mellow lip like that, with that back wheel coming off early, you'd start to tilt forward in the air. Like you would tilt really weird. So like I can't do the same 7 on a box jump that I would do on a bigger jump. Like it's a completely different initiation, because you've got to let the back wheel go up. And so I think that's mostly why Logan does that the way he does, is because when you cork the 7, you let that back wheel ride all the way up.
Yeah, when I hit, even like say coming out for a 5 or something, just fly out of a medium-sized quarter, you've got to pop from the lip so that you're lifting over, you know, because if you spin too early, you're going to smack that. And imagine doing that over a box jump with that kind of speed. You smack your back tire on the lip and game over. Just game over. Flare double whip. And the speed he still had coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, look where he lands. Like
most people throw that as like an ender trick, so that when they land flat, they just kind of like, oh, cool, that's the end of my run. But he's able to carry it out. And what's up, Andrew? How you doing?
So that's a flare double whip. Now for the next one, I'm going to do the line.
Sweat. He's just chilling.
Which I did. If you guys saw my E-Feast video part last year, I did a triple whip air to a switch triple whip in the box. I've been on switch triple whips a lot, so I'm going to do that little sequence, that little combo.
This is crazy.
All right, that's a really fun combo. Triple whip air into the switch triple, feels really cool. Now for my last 3 tricks, I'm going to do them all on the box jump. It's going to be a front bike flip, a 720 whip, and a quad tail whip. I've been doing those quite a lot. I do quad whips a lot, but I've just learned front bike flips, and I've just been dialing in 7 whips. So I'm going to do those 3 for you now.
You can do them all in a row.
Imagine he does it all over the box jump in one jump.
That trick's so dope.
See our Willie smack his face? Oh yeah, he is gonna do them all.
Oh yeah, one line. There we go.
720 whip.
See the back wheel ride all the way up the lip?
Oh yeah. Let's watch that.
When he does it in slow-mo, you can really see it.
Right there. Oh yeah. Okay.
Just watch it in slow-mo.
Yeah, right there. It's coming off.
Yep. It rides all the way up the lip.
Was quad whip next?
Yep. Jeez.
Oh no.
I brought the spoke on the air, but I'm stoked to pull those 3 in one run. 2 bang or 3 bang? 3 bang? 2 bang.
What's he talking about?
3 bang.
3 bang.
The first one, I just dropped my foot on the quad whip.
It took him 3 tries to get that on.
Oh wow. Oh,
that's
man.
a lot of. And he said the first one he slipped a foot on the quad whip, so he had to do all 3 of those 3 times.
Oh yeah, huh? Because that was the last trick in his line. Man, that guy's crazy.
That's the difference with Logan. Those tricks happen so many times in a session. Like a lot of people do, they'll do their bangers one each time. Nikolai was telling me when he was trying to dial in cash rolls, he would do like 25 a day. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of doing the same trick, especially when the trick scares you. And then he's like, yeah, and then if you mess up, then you got to pretty much do it until you don't mess up again. Like
20, dude, like 25 in a row or just some absurd
yeah,
goal.
like, I mean, because you got to think, as you get tired, the trick might not work, but
right,
you got to like figure out why it's not working when you're tired. Like, what did you get lazy on? And I'm like, I was like, dude, you could not see me. Like, I'm very good at double flips. You're not going to see me do 25 of those in a set. I'm not going to do it. That's risky. I feel like every time you're doing a hard trick like that, it's risky, and why take unnecessary risk? Like, I mean, I know dialing things in is good, but I think there's a point where it's not necessary.
Nikolai and Logan are like on the top of their game, and I'd imagine they just that's their mentality. Like I'm the same way. I was all, I feel pretty good now on the bike again, and I'm gonna start working on 3 whips again and getting them back. And like just before even coming out to throw it, I'm like, do I really, like, what's the point? Do I really need to do this? Like, I know I could land it if I had to, but what if I hurt my ankle? What if it hurts to land? Like all these different things are all, why would I do that? But then the 1%ers, they're like 50 times. I'm just going to do it 50 times a day. All these tricks. It's like, what are you doing? I feel like slipping a foot on a quad whip is not very good for you.
I'm like, I have like certain tricks that I do, every session, pretty much anywhere I go. And then I have a few tricks that like a month before I go to a contest, I'll do those ones, and they usually just work, and I'll get those ones, just back. But there's a lot of tricks that like, I can't do at most places and stuff, but like, I'm never going to go to an event and then do a trick that I haven't done in a while.
Yeah, of course.
What I mean? Except the only trick that I will do at contests that only gets done at contests really, and maybe 1 or 2 other times in a year, is flip super seat. Because
you don't practice that one a lot.
No, because I think flip super seat. Shut up.
They're back.
I know. Like just doing circles right there. Flip super seat is, oh my God, there's 3 of them.
It's not too loud.
Okay. It's really loud for me.
Yeah, I bet.
Flip super seat is, to me, more dangerous to do in that airbag at Woodward than it is to just go do it on a 40-foot jump. Because not only like you need a lot of time to do that trick properly, that Woodward airbag, if you land nosed in at all, you eat the handlebars,
Yeah.
And all of my muscle memory on that trick is to nose into the landing. And if I were to like do flip super seat, nose in right before my hand is back on the bar, it would be catastrophic. So I'm more comfortable with the idea of just doing it when I'm at an event, and then when I go to like a big jump that has like a landing airbag or something, then I'll do it. I'll do it there also.
practicing them
Yeah.
at camp and practicing landing them flat in the airbag so you don't get hurt, it's going to be counterproductive for how you would actually do it in real life.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's more dangerous. I think I would get more hurt in the bag at Woodward, and because like
Yeah.
when I do them, they work. Pretty much what I do is I just like do 2 test flips, and I just stare at the seat. I may even do like one where I flip and just like touch the seat, but usually I just look at it and get myself prepped, and then when I'm ready for it, as soon as I go off the lip, I grab the seat, and then it's just all or nothing. And I've learned with that trick, as soon as you grab the seat, it's pretty much going to work. And the safest way to do it is to extend the whole thing and then snap it back. If you like grab the seat, take your feet off, and then don't do it, you're going to crash. Like, I think it's safer to just fully commit, because what happens is once you get upside down, you're fully stretched out. You kind of just let go of the seat, and your whole body and everything kind of just comes back to where it's supposed to go, and you just grab on. Like, it's weird. It just works.
Yeah, can't relate. One day, when Jared on the last stream, he's all, "When are you gonna flare, Doug?" And I'm all, "When I finesse my way into Woodward, I'll learn flares." And I said, "But it's not worth it to just send it on concrete, you know." But there's so many flip tricks I want to get. Like, dude, guys, funny story. When I was at camp the last time, I was trying to flip one of the dirt jumps, and Nick was there. I think I was giving him a heart attack because I just like yank off the lip and like over rotate, you know, and instead of do it like a nice chill push through flip. And anyway, moral of the story, I need to spend some time working on them if I'm ever going to do any flip tricks, but got to finesse my way into Woodward. It's like Fort Knox right now, so we'll see. Anyway, Taco Slurpee thinks that, what's up, Taco Slurpee? They're gonna think I'm interviewing Logan Martin. What's up, guys? I'm here with Logan Martin today, and we're talking about his favorite trick, the quad whip. Cool. All right, guys, you got any last minute questions, or are we gonna all go ride some bikes?
Anything.
Jared, or not Jared, Tyler mentioned on here on the Facebook, he's like, maybe some talk about the way that like I've been doing my weekly progression videos, and he's thinking, so you guys who are members who are in the chat, if you guys want to do something like that, that would be dope. If you can like maybe post the clips in the thing, we could kind of, the live streams would almost reflect like progression edits, because each week we'd go over the clips and then we could see your progress and things like that. I don't know how you guys feel about that, Bobby, Jared, you guys, but it's a pretty cool idea. And like, it's been weird for me posting my progression things, because some of them I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, this sucks. I didn't land anything. Like, maybe I landed a few things, but most of it's just me trying and trying and trying. But it shows the other side of it is like, I think it's easy to post your stuff on Instagram and your polished edits and make it look like it's just so easy, but it's hard. It takes a lot of work. And you guys who have been in it for a little bit, you guys understand that. But yeah, if you guys want to post those in there as like progression, that'd be super sick.
Bobby
tacos.
Said,
go ahead.
Bobby said, you know, Body can't take crashes anymore, so he keeps his progression at a very slow pace. Is this a bad thing? Definitely not. I would say, you know, progress at whatever pace you're comfortable with. Like, you know, when let's see, 2013, 14, 15, I progressed like crazy. I went from being practically no one to doing cash rolls, double flips, flip whips, like on the mega ramp. And then I was doing
pink bike.
Yeah. And then I was doing professional mountain bike events and doing all these huge tricks. Like I was doing flip cliffhangers. Like I was doing all these video game tricks. I don't do a lot of those tricks anymore, but I'm a much better rider now than I was then. But if you look at it, it's going to look like, you know, like a lot of people, I think they think progression means learning new tricks. And I don't think that's necessarily true. Cause like, if you look at, like back then, it's like I did more tricks. I was learning tricks every week. I was doing new tricks. Now I don't do new tricks all the time. I very rarely do new tricks, actually. but I'm much, much better at the tricks that I do. And my consistency is so much better. My bike control is better. And so, like, I would, even though everyone else has learned a bunch of new tricks, I can still go do well at events because I'm very confident in the tricks that I do have. And I'm pretty confident in the fact that I know a lot of younger kids, they have all these tricks, but they don't have the experience necessary to put it all together. So, like, I don't think progressing slow is bad. I think it's going to make you better because when you progress too fast, you're never really getting comfortable. Like, I was learning video game tricks, and then I would lose tricks just as fast as I learned them because I couldn't keep up with how fast I was progressing. And when you try to progress that fast, you hit the ground a lot. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
I think ultimately, like, unless you're trying to become a professional rider and make a living off of the sport, we all do it for slightly different reasons, but for the most part, the same reason is that it's fun to get out, get away from everything, and ride your bike. And like, you've got to find something that you can get better at, that you can do better at. That's how you have worth and have value. And so, like, for us, for me especially, like, getting out and riding's just because I strictly enjoy it. And so I have no reason to push myself any more than I need to, because there's no, like, I'm not competing in contests. I'm not competing against other people. Like, I'm competing with myself and just having fun on the bike. And so it's like, I think it's the same for you, Bobby. Now, like, Logan Martin and those guys, they have money tied to it. So there's a little bit of pressure there, but I also don't think they'd do it unless they enjoyed it. But anyway, yeah, don't worry about the progression. Just do the stuff that's fun for you. Like, do double whips, do flip double whips sound fun for you? Maybe. So then maybe work towards them. But if they don't sound fun to you, like, there's no motivation. Like, you don't need to kill yourself trying those crazy things. And then Taco says, is it possible to learn bar spins with stock bars? I have a mental block feeling like they're too wide. Dude, you can learn bar spins on.
Was it
Did
any
you guys
bars?
see that dude out with the steering wheel? He put
That's
a
Sam,
steering
wasn't it?
Dig BMX shirt it.
Yes.
Maybe. It was kind of recently. Real
Uh,
recently.
because
I saw
Sam
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 do
did a
one.
whole video. Yeah, maybe that specific video wasn't Sam, but Sam did a whole video with a steering wheel on the bike.
So you could bar spin a steering wheel. You could definitely bar spin your stock bars, but I just cut mine down from, I think they were 30 or they were 29. I cut them down to around 28, and bar spins are technically easier, but dude, I don't have the bike control anymore. Like, they just feel so narrow and funky. But what's up, Snow FX? Okay, cool. Anything else, Nick?
No, I'm chilling.
Nick's
I'm
gonna
good.
go wheelie a razor.
Dude, I'm gonna go do something.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next Friday. And you guys who are members, keep up the progression. And we're here if you have any questions.